All right, well, we're back. I've gone ahead off camera and I've checked all the ring gaps for each cylinder, and everything checks out. I don't have to regrind any rings. We're getting really lucky lately with that. So what I'm going to do here, I also ordered some new caged wrist pin bearings, so we don't have to fight with the individual needles, the old style. They actually make an aftermarket caged bearing for this, so I ordered those up. And that's what we're going to start doing right now. It's just getting the pistons back on there, and then we'll work on sneaking the cylinders down on there. So here we have our aftermarket piston, our new wrist pin clips in this baggie, and our piston rings. Okay, so these aftermarket rings, whatever brand these are, don't have a T on them like most brands do, but there is a chamfered edge, if you can barely see that. This top, one of these edges is chamfered. Might be that one. Yep, there's chamfered. Okay, so that's top, chamfered up. Let's sneak that on there right now. Oops. This is our bottom ring. So here's our pin. This was top. Kind of work it down. And there we are. And so now, if you can see this piston has got kind of a weird top compared to a lot of other pistons. And so this ring is shaped the same way. It actually has a cutout, if you can see that. Focus up, come on. There you go. So it has a chamfer, so obviously it can only go on there one way. Yeah, see, it wouldn't really do well in there this way, huh? See how it won't compress all the way when you put it in there the wrong way? Flip it back around where that recess is up. And now the piston ring will go all the way in. There we go. So now I'm going to grab the pins, and what we're going to do is we're going to put in the clip for this side of the piston. That way we're not trying to fight getting in on the fan side here. And then when we push this in, that clip's already set and ready to go. And I think we should be able to do this with our hands. I don't think we're going to need any special tools here. At least for the first one. Okay, just like so. Okay, yeah, I'm going to grab a pair of pliers. BRB. Okay. Just gently take our pliers. Oops. Shit. There we go. See how I apologize about my fingernails being so nasty. I've been jamming all day today. There we go. Popped in. Now we gotta get that ring back out of there. Oh, there we go. And then make sure she's clean. Recess up. Back on. Just like so. Yep, that one goes there, and that one goes there. Okay. So right here in a little bin of 2-cycle oil, conventional of course. I've said this multiple times, that's best for break-in on new engines to use conventional 2-cycle oil, not synthetic. So here's our new caged wrist pin bearing. So I'm going to guide this in there. This should be fairly simple. We can just sneak this right into the rod. Fits like a glove. Now we'll sneak our piston down on there. Inside the studs. Okay. And now I'm going to dip this wrist pin in this oil I got right here, so it's nice and lubed when it goes in. Just like that. Okay. Just like that. Now obviously that side-to-side plate doesn't stay there once the cylinder's on. That's perfectly normal. Now we got to sneak that other clip in. This is tricky business. That's why I still have these plugged up, so it don't fall down in the crankcase. Same process as the one I just showed you, just kind of hard to get you in here and show you. Unless I took the hood off this machine, I didn't want to do that. There she went. So one side just popped down in for me, and there went the other side. Perfect. There she is. All right. One in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to gently roll this one down as far as we can. Like so. That way we can bring this one up to get that piston on. Now we rinse and repeat. I did it off camera, but I once again put the clip in on this side so we can do it from this way again. Okay. Caged roller. Our new wrist pin. Arrow facing towards the exhaust side. Work that in there. Oh. Is that it? Yep, there she goes. Okay. One piston on. Now we gotta fight with that clip again. This one's even further away for me to stretch. Okay. Bang. When you get it right, you just get it right. It just goes right in. Love it. There we go. Now we can bring these back up a little bit. Well, we'll pull this one out first. And then we'll roll this one down. And we can pull these out. And I'm going to take this little jug of 2-stroke that I was using, and we're going to, assembly lube things up. A little bit of 2-cycle on, the piston and the rings, just like that. Make a mess, it's fine. Okay. On down. Bring this one up to the top. There. Get in there. See what that's doing is getting right on that bottom rod bearing, the rod to the crank. And that'll give that a little bit of lubrication on the first start since it's been apart and dry. Okay. So I'm going to bring this one all the way up because we're going to be starting with this cylinder and working our way that way again. There we go, just like that. And a little trick. If I find us a little piece of wood, we can put it underneath the piston. And that will help us keep it from going downwards when we're trying to compress the rings into the bottom of the jug. Okay, well, not wood, but it'll work. Just kind of sneak that in there like that, and then when I push down on it, it'll stay. Okay. So this is our right side. You remember we stamped it, but I also kind of just scratched it in there too, right side. I'm going to hit this with some lube. Okay, set the cylinder down for just a second here. And I'm going to make sure these rings are in their little spots. So the top one is in its spot. And the bottom one is... Where's the bottom spot? There's the bottom spot. Okay. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this hand to hold these rings in like this, fully compressed. And I'm going to take the jug and bring it down. Oh, you know what? We can't do that. What are we doing? We got to put a gasket on there. Okay. So here's our Windorosa top end. Okay. So we got to remove the hammer real quick and then sneak this down here. This is our base gasket. There. Okay, now we're ready to do what we got to do. Okay. So. Hold the rings with this hand. Guide our cylinder down now. I guess first I've got to thread this in because it came out. All the rest of these are good. Okay. Now, again, this, like this. Just about there. There we go. I'm going to dry this up. We've got O-rings that got to go into these cylinders. So there you saw one. It's kind of a fight. You just got to compress those rings one at a time, both at a time, just kind of by feel. There is a tool for that. It's called a piston ring compressor. It's like a clamp. Sometimes it's just extra in the way. It works better from going down from the top for, you know, full-size car engines than it does for small engines. Okay, one more to go here. Okay. Base gasket. Let's rotate this engine up. Oil in them rings. In the ring glands. Okay. Here we go again. There we go. Okay, sorry, but I had to get right in there and you weren't going to be able to see what I was doing to be able to get that other ring compressed to get that jug on. But we're on, and we have beautiful, beautiful rotation. So now what I'm going to do is they make, if you're a dealer, an alignment tool to keep the jugs fairly together while you torque the head studs down, head nuts. We don't need to do that. What we can do is we can just bolt up the exhaust manifold back up, and that will keep them together, and then we'll put the heads on. Okay. So we've got our little plate here that goes in. I'm going to leave the in-between gaskets on there because they're fine. They're not ripped, torn. They're not super flat. They'll be okay. And then I've got new ones just to put on the outside. Now we tighten those up. Damn it. Come on. Okay, and now this side lower. Okay, there. Now our exhaust manifold is back on, and that is keeping our cylinders together this way. So when we tighten the heads down together, this all stays flush. We don't need to worry about these because they're independent. What we can do real quick, since I'm looking at it, is I've got some new line here to replace those messed up fuel injection lines. Or oil injection, sorry. Where did the pliers go? Plies. There they be. Okay. And then in this one. And then we will cut that a little bit long in case it breaks. Again, a little bit of extra down in there. There we go. New oil injection lines already ready to go. Okay, I think next we'll pop these O-rings down in the jugs. I'll bring you up. Maybe we'll even zoom you on in. There you go. Okay, so there's a little gland in here for these to sit into. Just like that. Pretty easy. Maybe. There we go. And another one. Okay. We've got new O-rings. Now we have basically our crush washers. So these are just like a crush washer on like a brake line or something. They have a round top and a flat bottom. Okay, just like that. Okay, I've got our right side cylinder head here, the one that was not damaged. See if I can get you in here. Looks pretty good. Nothing wrong with this one. So this is just like so. And I can actually bring you back out now. Oop, that's in. Okay. If you remember, when we took this apart, this had detonation. So we have this is the other cylinder head. Now that's got pieces of ring stuck in it, and I could have tried to pick all that out, but it would have just, all those rough spots would have created hot spots. and it would have burnt up and possibly dropped pieces of mist ring into the cylinder. So I went on the Googles, not the Googles, the eBays, the Evil Bay, as Derek calls it, and picked us up a used head. In good shape. And she goes on just like so. Okay. Okay. So now we're not going to be sandwiching this all down tonight because I've got to take these and get them apart. They're all rusted together. These are supposed to be, these are my cylinder head nuts that I need to torque down. So I'm going to soak these overnight, get them apart. For now, I've got the other 4 and the washers. We'll sneak those on just to keep it tucked down for the night. Darn you. There we go. Okay. Nope. Wrong spot. What am I doing? It goes over here. Okay. I'm not tightening these by any means. I'm just running them down to keep it down. Okay. I think I'm going to sneak the starter in while I'm out here for the night. many more things done. Okay. Okay. There we go. So there's 2 bolts that come in from this way, and then 1 Allen that holds it to the block. Okay, top bolt tight. I'm going to have to get a socket for the bottom one here. Okay, starter in. Honestly, I don't even know if that starter works. Maybe I should have tested it. Okay, there we go. Starter's bolted back in. Now there is a trigger wire down here that I've got to put back on. Pretty simple though. It's just a Phillips and it's not in a hard spot really, comparatively to some of the other things. Okay, trigger wire back on. Okay, I'm going to call that good for tonight's video. And we will see you next time when we actually torque these heads down, and we'll put the intake manifolds on, put the exhaust back on, and then we'll dig into the carburetors. I'll see you next time.